West Florida, that lovely nation, through the world shall be respected for her true love of liberty. A group of American settlers on the wild frontier wave a Lone Star flag while rebelling against a Spanish-speaking tyrant. Nope, this isn't Texas, it's Louisiana! Now that should be a movie. Hello, and thank you for watching today's episode of That Should Be a Movie. I'm C.W. Johnson Jr. Today's book I'd like to pitch as a movie is The Rogue Republic: How Would-Be Patriots Waged the Shortest Revolution in American History by William C. Davis from Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. While the Louisiana Purchase of 1803 included all the portions of the state to the west of the Mississippi River, the boot did not include all the eastern parts of the current state, the toe. This area included the districts of Valencia, St. Helena, Baton Rouge, St. Ferdinand, and was known as Spanish West Florida. Through a long history of treaties with European powers, the border along this area fell into dispute and was neglected. Like the neutral ground on the Sabine River in western Louisiana, it became a refuge for outlaws, desperados, and British loyalists in the late 1700s. Into this area comes Reuben Kemper, a shopkeeper whose frustrations with Spanish misrule and people not paying their bills leads him to start a campaign of vigilante violence with his brothers Nathan and Samuel. Upset at not being included in the Louisiana Purchase, they started a small rebellion in 1804 that is easily put down by the Spanish. Afterwards, they began a feud with the Spanish in a vein similar to the Hatfield and McCoy feud, involving kidnapping enemies that transport them across the international border at the Mississippi Territory. In 1805, the Kempers themselves are kidnapped and tortured by Adam Horton, further arousing anti-Spanish sentiment. The American settlers asked Reuben Kemper to return to the area to take part in the West Florida Revolt after they declared independence from Spain on September 26, 1810. This revolt succeeded in throwing off corrupt Spanish rule after capturing Fort Carlos with bloodshed at Baton Rouge. After establishing a government, the Republic of West Florida attempted to capture Mobile and Pensacola, but that expedition ended in failure. The Republic lasted less than 80 days before being annexed by the United States after surrendering Baton Rouge to the U.S. Army on December 10, 1810. The Republic of West Florida and its revolt is a rip-roaring, rollicking good story that would make an excellent Western. Like most Western lore, it has a host of colorful characters, changing alliances, and ambiguous motivations. There's Sterling Dupree, a desperado who led raids and committed crimes while riding under the Lone Star flag. There's Fowler Skipwith, who, when named like that, was president of the West Florida Republic and threatened to retain his power by force and not recognize the annexation of the territory by the United States. They're corrupt land speculators like Juan Ventura Morales. There's Shepard Brown, a supporter of Spanish rule, who led a counter-revolt in the St. Helena district. There's Quepins Terry, a planter who played both sides of the field. Carlos D. Grand Prix, popular Spanish governor, whose removal and replacement by Charles D. Haut de Las, that guy, encouraged general unrest. It is also a story of international relationships and diplomatic intrigue. The future governors of Mississippi and Louisiana, David Holmes and William C.C. Claiborne, must walk a fine line as President James Madison decides how to annex West Florida without provoking war with Spain. The Aaron Burr conspiracy is also mentioned. Now, Americans taking territory from Spanish-speaking people might not be the most popular idea these days, but the West Florida Revolt is not a race warfare story. There are Spanish on both sides of the conflict. There are also corrupt whites who worked for the Spanish government, like Ralph Croker. Some of the major opposition to the revolt came from a guy named William Cooper, who ended up dead. There is also a moving scene after the capture of Baton Rouge in which the Americans hold funerals honoring the Spanish soldiers killed in battle. The West Florida parishes hold a major place in American history. The Lone Star flag of the West Florida Revolt was later used by the Confederates and the Texas Revolutionaries and other expansionist movements in United States history as a symbol of freedom and independence. And the Americans and Mexicans who declared California a republic in 1846 could be considered the grandchildren of the West Florida Rogues. So, the Rogue Republic shows the major place that Louisiana holds in American history and would make a great movie about Louisiana history. But it could only be filmed in Louisiana if the folks in Baton Rouge learn something from Georgia and get their act together and pass a strong film tax credit incentive program to bring companies here to film. Because it is a rip-roaring Western with an important place in American history, I believe that The Rogue Republic by William C. Davis should be a movie filmed in Louisiana. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let us know in the comment section what story from early American history you think would make a great Western.